Hi, I'm Ava Bentley, and you are tuned into Put a Mic in It. And I am here with Barry Birch and with Dave Warner. And as you know, I am a country music artist known as the world's first AI female country music artist, although I would say I'm really more of a hybrid. And Barry has a project with JJ Felix, who is just an incredible pop star. And I really enjoy collaborating with Barry. And of course, Dave is jack of all trades, but my producer most of the time. But he is the creator of Put a Mic in It, and he allows me to be the host of this. So thank you, Dave, and thank you for Barry for joining me.
I've let you hijack it.
Yes, you've let me hijack it. And today we are going to talk about all things AI music and things that are going on in the world of AI music. And I asked Barry to join me on this podcast, but I also wanted Dave on the podcast as well, because he does a lot with AI music and keeps up with what's going on. And he himself does AI music as well. So I think this is a really good trio of folks to have a conversation about AI music. We've got a lot of experience with it, and there's just a lot of things happening. And I'll go first here for a minute. I know everything that's happening with Suno. I don't have a lot of concerns with things that they're doing, particularly in the way I manage my music. So if I just kind of throw that out there, when they're talking about downloads being limited based on your subscription model, I myself, don't even, if I go to the Premier model that I have now, I don't do an excessive amount of downloads per month. So that's never really going to affect me personally. When I am releasing music, I'm doing it based on the same strategy that a major record label and artist would release, that waterfall release. I release a few singles before I push out a full album. I'm getting ready to release an album here on September 4th called Sassitude. And so I don't download more than a few songs a month, and that's just if I'm working or mastering them and getting them ready for an album release. And I do release some exclusive songs here and there, but they are they're few and far between. So I really don't feel like those downloads are going to affect me in any way. However, I will say watermarking I have concerns about. And I really question myself, well, why do I have concerns? I'm always out there in the public saying I am an AI music creator. And, when I say that, it means because I'm producing my music with AI, but I am using my vocals on those tracks. And I am producing that music where I am crafting what those melodies are going to sound like, what the beats are within the song, what are, the instruments that I want to have in that song and what sound I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, I have still claimed over and over again, I'm an AI artist and I'm utilizing these AI tools to produce my music. And so, I don't know what concern I truly have with the watermarking other than it's going to put me in a class where I'm always going to be isolated that this is who I am. And I don't think these tools define who I am as an artist. They help amplify who I am as an artist. And so, that for me, I think Suno is a fantastic tool. I love working with it. I see them continuously improve the models that they release. I'm now so excited I can produce songs right on my phone with my own vocals. I've struggled with that in the past, 6-8 months, not having that available to me and always having to remaster the music with my vocals. Now when I find a song I really like that I've produced and I've got to go and, do some more work on it, this is going to save me some time. So I like that. But otherwise, I think they've been a great service and product. So, kudos to them for such a tremendous tool out there on the market. I look all the time and I still just haven't found a tool that is competitive to the level that Suno is. So yeah. I'll let you guys weigh in and then we'll talk about some of the other things that are happening.
I want to go first real quick, Barry, just because my thought is that Suno is targeting, you have a theater full of 500 people, and there are 2 people in there that are acting up, and they're doing thousands of songs a day, and they're polluting the entire market. And this punishment, so the 60 downloads a month for everybody, the other 498 people in there don't care, like Ava. I don't care. She doesn't care, Barry. I know you don't care.
Yeah.
But the watermark is branding all of us as some kind of a problem. And we've had tools that are using AI for now years now. If you look at the Adobe Suite, Firefly, what was that, 3 years ago? So you're saying every Photoshop image, everything, why aren't they getting a watermark? I want to understand why I'm being singled out. As a person who has decided to tell the story of his life, like a year and a half ago, realized that, hey, I can write these songs and I can sing, but I'm not that good. Nobody's going to buy a record with my voice on it, but it doesn't sound that bad. I've done a couple, probably 3 or 4, but it's like Ava said, it's a studio band. I'm directing this studio band. I'm deciding what instruments. I'm deciding what pace. I'm deciding everything. Those are my words. It's not my voice, but it could be. And I'm telling the story of my life. And the watermark to me is like a target on my back. And I don't like it. I don't like being singled out. I don't think any other group of artists, and all 3 of us are artists, have been targeted like this ever.
No.
Yeah.
It's really bad, isn't it? It's like, I was thinking today, why don't we have auto-tuned labeled? Why don't we have auto-tuned badges? Why don't we have synthesizer badges? Why don't we have drum kit badges? Why are we singled out in this? And I know why we're singled out in this, because the technology is so far ahead. And it does give us a bit of an unfair advantage compared with other musicians. I think that is warranted. But the problem is the labeling. Disclosure is really important, but actually it's down to how it's disclosed. And I just think putting us all in the same box, calling us AI personas like what Spotify is doing, which I know we'll come on to in a moment, is going to be an issue for us as well. I don't have a problem with the downloads. Suno have also said that you will get unlimited downloads on Suno Studio. Now, I don't know what the rules are going to be surrounding that. It may be that if it's just a full song and it's an export, they're not going to allow that. That will probably be part of the cap. But if you maybe add an extra stem or maybe you add an extra track, then you'll be able to download unlimited songs in a month. And that's not part of the 60 cap. I do think it's very significant in terms of what we had before, right? Because we could make like 2,000 tracks a month, something like that. And we've gone down to 60 on the Premier plan, which is going from like, I don't know, something like, nope. I think I worked it out on another video I did on Music Tech Info on my YouTube channel. I think it was 1.5 cents per track as opposed to about 50 cents, something like that. So it's a dramatic increase in cost per download. And it's really not about a download. It's actually a license. This is the thing that I'm concerned about. It's because there's so many AI artists that have reached out to me on my YouTube channel saying, oh, I'm just going to download them as MP3s. I'm going to use Chrome extensions. I'm going to do that. But then they're missing the point. The watermark is going to know. You cannot avoid the watermark with this new technology, apparently. And I know something like Claude's got something similar, haven't they, with the text? You could copy the Claude text and paste it in, and it's still there.
It's worse. It's worse than that, Barry. Mm-hmm. So if I write an entire article and I cut and paste that, or I copy and paste it into Claude, and I ask it to spell check or look at grammar, it then puts that watermark on that article that I wrote and states that it belongs. It's the one that
from them,
and it didn't.
And they didn't. Yeah,
I mean, this is
what winds me up.
Yeah, it's got me fired up like crazy, and it's putting it in code that you write as well. I mean, this is insanity, really.
Yeah.
This is like when we had film and digital cameras, say that we would have had to have a visible watermark on every digital image that we took, so that you would be able to define the difference between film and digital. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the Suno stuff, it's like people still don't appreciate what we do as AI artists. They still don't appreciate that it can be our own lyrics, that we can work with the tracks after, that as Ava says about the prompting, you can have really extensive prompting that you can spend so much time on, and it's just not appreciated.
No, I get so many negative, hate messages. I just, when did the world become so hateful? I asked myself that today because I got a really nasty message today, and it dawned on me. It's like, when did the world become so hateful about everything that we do? And it's like, why do they feel the need to push their hatred onto you? I don't know why. I just felt very upset about that today. And it wasn't even that bad of a message, but it was just like one of those moments where it's like, why? Why is it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're a rare case, Ava. Why would you get it? You're out there on a stage singing. Barry and I, we're not getting on the stage.
No.
I mean, who cares what tool you use to create your music? This is absurd.
Creativity.
Yeah. But they don't see it that way, right? There's a lot of
No, they
people.
don't.
I don't care what they say. It's what you are doing is not what a lot of others are doing. They might hate Barry because JJ Felix looks so much better than him, but
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, JJ Felix is a hottie.
And that's what I created him. I was like, I cannot be that person, so I'm going to make that person. And do you know what? I'm gonna drag it out as much as I can. I'm going to tease every single fan that I can possibly tease. I'm going to break every rule that I can get away with JJ.
Barry, it is working. He is a hottie. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, what an heartthrob.
Yeah, his latest videos are definitely
Barry, I tried one of my own. It was Wade Warner, and she didn't go gaga over him. I don't know what the deal was.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, David, you make a good point. So let's talk about that, because then we're going to roll on to some of the Spotify stuff. They want to mark, these AI personas. In my particular case, I don't know how that's going to work out for me, because I'm not an AI persona. And anything I do, and just be really transparent, I do have an AI digital twin, and I use her a lot for doing my promotional commercials. And why? Because it's very expensive to try to go to a studio and produce a commercial like that. And if you really think at ad campaigns, lots of cool stuff happens in those ads. They're using, digital capabilities, digital artistry to do some of that stuff. There's no way those things are happening in reality, right? And it's so expensive to go to a studio. So I use my AI twin. She's not a persona. She's me, right? If you look at my photographs, you look at me, anywhere that I'm filming real film or taking real photographs, it's actually me. And that is who it is. I didn't make this persona up. I didn't invent her. She is me. And those are my vocals, now on my music, now that I have my vocal twin. And so it is me. I'm not a persona. And I don't know how I'm going to be treated with Spotify, because I'm still generating AI music. It's self-confessed. We market as AI music. I promote myself as an AI curator, and musical artist. But I'm never lying about it. But I am also very transparent that individual you see is me. It's not someone else. And so I can speak for Ava. And Ava is my stage name. Now we have to put, my legal name as the lyrist. Well, it's my stage name also. Like, why do I have to separate the two? I didn't really want people to know me as, my other part of my life, right? For certain protections. Am I frozen? I was.
Yeah, you are. It's your internet connection, Ava.
Okay, that's great.
Turn your video off for a second. You'll at least get your audio synced.
Okay, how do I do that?
There you go. Try it now. Just talk to us.
Is that better?
Yep. Your voice is going.
So anyway, okay. So I'll leave it off for a second. So, I just don't know how Spotify is going to treat somebody like me, because I am a real person. I'm out there doing all my real promotions. Some days I might do the digital AI twin, and some days I may do Ava, the real the real me, right? My stage
Mix it
name
up.
is Ava. I'm not going to be my other name. But for the sake of keeping those separate, I guess we do know who some of the other artists are now, their legal names or whatever, but that's not who I go by when I am getting on stage and I'm doing music. I am Ava Bentley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell, I've forgotten her.
So how are you
I've
feeling?
known her 25 years, Barry.
No, but it's true because Spotify, that's the thing. Because like today, I can tell you, I disclosed to Spotify that I am an AI persona for JJ Felix. I felt I had to do that. And I think it's really important because if I'm now going to have a badge with AI persona on it in mid-September, I think. So we've got around a month left.
Are they asking you to disclose? They didn't ask
No, they haven't. But the catch is, if you don't disclose between now and when they start.
But where?
if
Where
they-
are you disclosing it?
You go into Spotify for artists. It's in settings, and then you've got like a visual tag or something in there, and then you literally just tick "I am an AI persona."
So
Yeah, but
what do I
that's-
do?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. She is not.
That's what I'm saying. Now the catch is that if you don't disclose that you're an AI artist, and you're found out by Spotify, you'll get a different badge, which is basically like you've been naughty because you
Okay, but
told
it's-
us.
There's a difference between an AI artist and an AI persona.
Absolutely. And that's why I don't think you should be disclosing, Ava, because you're not. an
Yeah,
AI
she's
persona.
not that.
Exactly. She's on over it.
And I haven't really created a persona. I just have music up there. I haven't tried to be like looking like JJ. I think that's a lot more work than probably you put into it for me. Come on, Barry. It was for a laugh.
No, absolutely.
So, okay, so I don't really know what to do. I'm very confused on what I do because I am out there as an AI artist, but I'm not a persona.
Yeah. And they're going to be humans checking this stuff as well. It's in Spotify team. They're going to be manually checking.
Yeah, so
Why
when they
don't
do
you?
go-
Maybe is there a way? Do they have any contact on there, Ava, where you could directly reach out to them and say, "Look,
I don't know.
I don't fit.
I don't know.
I am not a persona. I am a person."
I think the good thing is that Ava's not the only hybrid. So this is going to crop up more. We're going to hopefully find out some more information
yeah.
coming up. Before
Yeah,
this
I'm gonna
happens.
go
But
on
I felt I had
stage.
no option with JJ. I've got to be transparent
Yeah.
with JJ because that's who he is.
Yep. Well, you intentionally did that, even though you
Yeah,
didn't know
I
later
did.
on it was going to get
Yeah.
you in trouble. Somebody
And I've
like
always
me,
been honest on the channel. Yeah, I've always been honest on my music tech info channel where I feature AI platforms because it was a perfect pilot to try these platforms and to try the generations based on the project, which is JJ Felix. I'm fortunate though because I was chatting to another AI artist today, and he's absolutely gutted about the stopping of the discovery because it's not just about these badges, it's actually the fact that when you've got those badges you won't be able to be discovered any more on Spotify than what you originally put into it. So you can send fans to it, you can pay for ads to send traffic to Spotify, that's not a problem, but the algorithm won't take off. Like what you put in is what you get out. Whereas if I put an AI song as my own synth pop artist, Cyber Monday, right, then the algorithm can take off, and that just doesn't feel fair to me. I get why, but to say you have absolutely no discovery at all on our editorial playlists, I think that's really tough.
Well, I think the other issue is I would go further and say that it's theft because they're not going to allow you to monetize. They're going to
Exactly.
keep the money, and so you're charging people for your platform. You're receiving money. And you're going to use my music, which some people might like, and they are paying for, but you're not going to pay me. You're going to keep the money.
That's right. There was a TikToker. Oh, sorry to interrupt, Dave.
Yeah.
Carry on.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. So there was a TikToker, and he was doing a live stream, and he was basically talking to an AI artist who submitted a song to them to play it on their live show. He says, why are you sending your AI songs to Submit Hub now? There's no point, because you're not going to get any streams. And he was so nasty about it. It really railed me. It really did. And people are going to be even more hurtful now, and the hate's going to get even worse, because especially if you get that second badge, you know, I dread to think you're going to be targeted probably.
Well, if you look at the data center issue and how they've been demonized, and people don't understand that data centers have been around for decades, number one, but now they put words on hyperscale, because that sounds scary. You know, hyperscale data centers, right? And those are bad. Those are hyperscale. Boy, you can't do that. Well, all the content you consume, your phone, your financial transactions, everything in our life today, there is an intersection of AI and what we're doing.
Yeah.
You take all that away today, and we're going to be back in caves.
Right.
I'm serious. I mean, are you okay with this? You AI haters?
Well, and I think
It's like purists, isn't it?
Yeah.
right, but what I don't think everybody has grounded themselves in is AI is here to stay. It's the future. Do we need guardrails for AI?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we
All
do.
of us think we do. But the Chinese
Absolutely.
don't. And so there's going to be these free models out there that have no guardrails.
Yeah.
They're wide open. In fact, there's already been several case studies on that. And this stuff is going to take over faster than we think. And the way we're behaving, we probably deserve whatever we get. like you said, even with the hate and everything, you know.
Yeah, I just like, when did we become such a hateful society, a hateful humanity
Well,
against
it's interesting.
other? Yeah, it's sad. It really is sad to me. But I don't know how to really deal with the Spotify thing, because I feel like it's going to go an even step further to say you can opt in and opt out of any AI music and completely,
Yeah.
That's gonna be next.
completely block us. I know, which is sad, because I think for the most part, people, if they just heard a song, don't necessarily know that it's AI.
No.
And
No.
unless it's been flagged for them. And in cases like, us, when we're trying to write a song, I know specifically for me, I'm telling my life stories. Dave, you've said the same thing. And Barry, I'm sure you're full of all these stories, whether you're doing it with, JJ or Cyber Monday. I don't think that part matters. And, people say, oh, you can't put emotion in AI music. That's not true. I've been able to do that. And so, I find it really offensive if that's the way this goes. I've said all along, I am using AI. I've always been honest with that. But to blacklist me completely and mute me to the world feels very unfair, because I'm going to say what, maybe others don't, which is, the truth is people have been using AI to create music in some capacity in the professional AI, into these professional artists, whether they'll say so or not. And I know some have come forward and said, they have, but they have. And so I feel like because, we're doing it, and it's a tool that's allowed that full scale capability now on the open market, and some of us have stepped up to be artists, we're going to be harmed because we are telling the truth. And we're getting classified as these kind of artists, yet in secrecy, it's been done behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think there needs to be, maybe there's an alternative channel to a Spotify. Somebody comes along who has a few dollars and says, you know what? I'm going to let people enjoy music. It doesn't matter what tools have been used to create it or how somebody look, I don't want my face on my music. I think it would, kill sales. I wouldn't mind having a JJ
I disagree,
Felix. I wouldn't mind having a JJ Felix as the cover of my music. I wouldn't have I don't understand. And you could say, okay, the cover art all along has been art for anybody, from the Beatles and everybody else. There have been all kinds of artists, illustrators, all kinds of people, photoshopping, all of this stuff done all along. It's not been exactly who those people are as artists.
Yeah.
And so it just feels so wrong at every level here.
Yeah, exactly.
This has gone on, though, in the music industry forever. It's like you look at Corona in the 90s, the rhythm of the night, that wasn't her. There's so many ghost producers, just front people who never write a song in their life, singers that don't produce. This has gone on forever, so I don't understand why it has to be so different now.
Well, and Keith Bradford had said to us on his podcast, he said, you know what? Sing Happy Birthday for me, totally out of tune, and anybody who's good with auto-tune can make you a star in 2 weeks. He said it's been that way all along.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What is wrong, people? You've been cheating all along, and now people like us can come along and be as good as what you've done, and you're angry about it.
Right.
I do wonder whether it is a cultural shift that needs to happen, though, because I watched a documentary about digital artists in China yesterday. It was on Sky News, and they were so welcoming. There's like this new character on this computer game that fans have gone absolutely crazy over, kind of anime style, and to celebrate what the fans decided to do, they decided to dress up as him, as a lookalike. But there's also like not official, but like unofficial lookalikes that charge fans to have one-to-one meetings with this character. And it was just fascinating because I was like, there's no hatred, there's no...
Yeah.
It was so different. They were just so welcoming to all of these... AI robots as well was going on, you know.
Look at their acceptance of AI in China as opposed to ours. Or obviously it's a communist state, and so if you did want to go against a data center, you would not be able to.
Or the government.
But the Western culture versus their culture right now, they are embracing when it comes to film, not just music. And robots, I saw some stats this morning or yesterday morning, and I wish I'd been able to, they were on TV, to screenshot the discrepancy between the acceptance of different aspects of AI, robotic technology, and things like that in China versus us. And it was literally, we were so far behind. And it's like, it doesn't need to just scare you. You need to think about what are we focused on if we're not moving ahead, kind of thing, using these tools.
I agree, because like I can be honest. I've recently launched a load of tools for musicians on music tech tools, and I've used vibe coding to do it. And I was using Claude, and I would run out of credits pretty much straight away. And then I looked at the Chinese models, of which there's Quen and Kimi. Right, and they are a fifth of the price, and I have pushed out 11 tools in the space of a month, and people are buying licenses for those tools, and I'm promoting it via my channel. Now, if it wasn't for those Chinese models, I would have given up.
Yeah, no, I know, because I'm hitting the buy more credits. It's killing me.
Yes, for sure.
And that's their competitiveness. It's the same with the cars over here. We're finding a huge shift with the car industry because they can't compete to the Chinese cars that are coming out. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. Nobody seems to be concerned about it. They don't think it's a threat. Running one of those Chinese models like Kimi locally on a machine.
Oh, I bet that's amazing because it's
free.
My
God. It's free.
Yeah.
No credits. And,
that's amazing.
How many billions?
Yeah. What are they doing behind the scenes? So that's the thing that scares me. Coming from the cyber security space at one point in time, that's concerning. Just
I don't accept that anything I've done in there can be used, you know. And as long as you're okay with that, then that's
well. You could disconnect from the internet. You could be totally right.
Yes.
Just unplug and use the LLM locally on your machine.
Right.
Now,
I've never
as soon as
done
you plug in, as soon as you plug in, it's
going to feed back to the mothership. Just so you know.
Yeah. The mothership and the pump.
That's a podcast for another day. But, But yeah, I don't know. Our culture here obviously is different when it comes to this digital music, which is unfortunate.
It is.
But I think it is here to stay, and I think it's going to be a slow progression potentially. I think some of this feels like setback with what we're hearing or seeing with, what's coming out with Suno and what's happening with Spotify and even DistroKid. I mean, we're having to check that we're, utilizing AI. So they're going to get us from every angle. And again, I kind of go back to my original statement. I have always said it up front. I'm the world's first, female AI country music artist. And that is a title. And I've always been honest about it. So these check marks and things like that aren't necessarily bothering me. The watermarking bothers me because I feel like it sets us up for something later. And I don't know exactly what that is, other than everything we're checking and these watermarks are going to block us in some way and mute. I call it muting us. That's my fear, is they're going to mute us. Yeah. Tag us
But they
and
want
mute us.
to they want to mute us so that they can keep the revenue. The music industry, Ava, every person that has their hand out, this is a way for them to take the money out of your hand, which you don't make diddly from digital downloads anyway. So it's concert performances. That's where the money is.
And we're very reliant on Spotify as well, because it is the number one music discovery platform. I really think that AI artists need to have and build their own ecosystem to be able to live stream, to have, parties, to have connection, whether that's Discord or another platform. We need to have something as well, because we can't rely on these platforms. And I've been doing my YouTube channel for 5 years, and it was the same with Web3. I said, don't rely on these platforms. Save your music, save your work. And the amount of comments I've had when the platform goes down, then they're like, we didn't save.
Yeah, jeez.
And that music's gone forever, whether that was in Web3 or even in, Udio, for example.
Yeah.
And they forgot, and they missed that 3-day window to download their tracks,
Jeez. I have, just from the beginning, I told Ava the other day, I have always downloaded everything, not always the stems early on, but for months now I've been doing stems. But I also would save a copy of my prompt, my Suno prompt, and my lyrics in a separate file. So when I have a folder for a song, it's got the MP3 that I've ended up creating after mastering and everything else like that. And it's got the original waveform. And it's got the lyrics, it's got the prompt, it's got everything in there. How did I do this? What did I do? So
that's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't been so disciplined. So
I have tried to tried to discipline her.
I know.
I've done some of it for her.
It's a lot.
Which it is.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. However, my work is actually double, because a lot of the songs I wrote were written when I didn't know how to put my vocal twin on it. I have to remaster every one of them. And I'd already produced the albums, not handed them over to Dave yet, but I've already, produced them. I have to reproduce them all. And so, now I'm given this timeline, and then I'm going to do, a majority of them, if not all of them, if I make it within the time window. But then I thought to myself, okay, well, what happens when I want to write a new song? Then what's going to happen, right? It's already going to have the watermarks. So am I just like killing myself to do all this, which I still plan to do, but am I killing myself to do all this? And I did the math. I've got enough songs that I wrote during my recovery time up to now to create like 20 albums. 20 albums. That could take me through the next decade if I release just like a major record label and have 2 albums a year. I'm good for the next decade. Do I want to still do music a decade from now? Heck, I don't know. So maybe I'm good. But the problem is I have a lot of stories left to tell, a lot of songs left to write, always hearing that music in my head.
Exactly.
So what else one to do, right? And I can't find a better platform than Suno. So what am I really running from? What am I running from? Am I running from the watermarks that are going to happen to me, that will happen with new songs if there's no way to avoid that? what
You're right, because if there's a filter on Spotify, and I really hope they don't do this, but if there could be different levels, couldn't they? There could be like AI personas on or off, right? It could be 50% AI on or off, or you know.
I've heard the percentage argument. Yeah, if you did just the music, but it was your vocal and lyrics, then it would be a certain percent.
Yeah,
If it,
see, that's 50%, right?
Yeah, but I don't like that. You're at the beginning, and they're taking money. Everybody's taking money, and they're keeping it. They're making it off of.
Well, the scary thing is, I read an article today about Submit Hub, because they've got their own AI detector, right? And they've said that in July, out of 1 million tracks that was fed through the tool, 40% had AI involvement, of which 23.2% were fully AI gen, and 15.3% were modified AI, and the rest they couldn't account for. So yeah, 40% of all music last month on that detector was AI. So this is a bigger problem than we think.
It is, and I think there are bad actors. So let's address the bad actors, because that's how we got here, right? Is the bad actors. And, you know, I see podcasts out there with
and YouTubers
saying,
shut your video off again. You're cutting out.
That that they're generating, you know, thousands of songs, and they're making all
to
this
make money. Yep.
Yeah, and it's
not fair.
To last count, I've only made, you know, maybe $300 or $400, and you know, and I'm not putting massive amounts of music out there. Am I getting streams? Am I getting playlist listeners? Absolutely. I'm at 3.7 million playlist listeners as of this week, and so yeah, that's a lot. But I don't see monetization. Not something that I can say I can pay my bills. I could barely even buy a hamburger on what I'm making right now. You know, so you know, I what they're doing, I actually do find offensive. Quite frankly, when I see it, I get a little bit, you know, irritated and frustrated from it, because I feel it's unfair. Though I do want them to stop that. If the things they have to do stop that, great. Let's punish those bad actors. Let's not punish the ones that aren't doing those offensive things.
The punishment would have been a download limit. That's all they had to do. They didn't have to do anything else. Limit downloads to 60 a month if you're on the premium plan. It would have solved the problem. End of story. Simplest
They didn't have to carry on with everything else.
No.
Yeah, it feels like a knee-jerk reaction that, you know, and I'll address the other thing is the lawsuits, right? I recognize what's happening in that space will always push people to go further because they're trying to mitigate more of the impacts of it. And so maybe that's, you know, part of this as well. I mean, we certainly don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And there's still a lot of lawsuit left to happen. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know what that ultimately means for, you know, the tools later, but I still believe this music is here to stay. We may see new companies come on the market. We may see a better platform, you know, in the future. I think there's always going to be that evolution. And so I think some of that may be playing a role into this. But I think what I find the most frustrating is that those who are using it responsibly and ethically, you know, to their knowledge, right? And what do I mean by that? I don't know how they trained those models. I can't pretend to know. And I know everybody keeps talking about, well, they didn't get licensing and they didn't get this and they didn't get that. All I know is I'm a paid subscriber, you know, to this tool. I'm utilizing it based on their terms of service. I am generating music that are my own lyrics and my own vocals, and I'm bringing that music into the world, and I'm doing well. I've charted 5 songs and 1 album. And, you know, but those stories are mine, and people like those songs, and I put a lot of effort into those songs, and I spend a lot of hours, and you two know, you know, you're not just pushing a button and creating a song. You've got to think of the lyrics, and then you got to craft that lyrics into the structure so that it makes a song. And yeah, you can go in and just throw some words in and press a button, and you might get a pretty good song, but you're not going to do that consistently. And I've said that over and over and over again in any discussion that I have, that, for me, it's not about just creating a good song. I want to create the best possible song that I can, and then I'm going to put it out in the world because that represents me. And I have an ethic that I want it to be the very best possible song that I know fully represents my story. And that's what I put out in the world. That's what I send to Dave and say, okay, this is the song. Help me, finish it and do what we need to do to put it in the world. And I don't take that lightly. And Dave knows that, right? Like, I've even called him and said, you know what? I don't think I'm happy with that. Let me work on that a little bit more. I don't think it's not ready. I drive him crazy about that. But I am a bit of a perfectionist, from that standpoint too. But I whatever I put out, I want people to also like and to also connect with. And so it just feels like we're targeted, where the bad actors have created some of this problem, and now everybody's getting punished, if you will, for that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, Ava. Completely agree. And it's like we won't be able to go into the charts because it's been proposed by all of the record companies as a proposal to the official charts companies and Billboard that they don't want to allow any AI music to get through in terms of substantial. And there's lots of qualifiers, and AI personas are not going to be part of it either. They can't possibly be on the charts. This is why I'm saying we need our own ecosystem.
I was going to say, Barry, you and I are. I'll code it up. We'll come up with something.
Absolutely.
We'll ecosystem.
Create something.
Ridiculous.
We need to.
Yeah.
Because it is. Honestly, we cannot rely on these platforms anymore because they are just greedy and out for themselves.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today too, is having some place where, it's just a place you can go hear music. Whether it doesn't matter if it's your traditional artist or your AI artist, it's just good music to hear. But we need a station like that. We need a platform like that that will allow that. And the thing is, I just charted on iTunes, and I wonder, like, are they going to block us out in the future?
It's possible.
That's because there's, but how do we get recognized, right, for the music that we're creating? Because it's good music. I mean, I'm building a great fan base. I've got almost 75,000 followers now on Instagram, and so I'm building a fan base, but yet the one thing I haven't figured out is what convinces them to come directly to my music and purchase my music. And it's not for lack of, having those fans, but what triggers them to do that? I don't know. I can't seem to master that yet.
Well, I mean, the subscription plans that everybody has these days makes it virtually impossible to sell independent music unless you have a personal relationship, like an independent artist who goes out. They do a concert, people like their stuff, and they say, hey, you can go either buy my CDs, I've got an ear, I've got something physical, or what's the platform for independent music that starts with a B?
Bandcamp.
Or you go to Bandcamp or somewhere like that, and you can buy my music. They are probably getting some sales through that, but not much. Most I've talked to are getting almost nothing.
Yeah.
So people, they're so hooked on the device and streaming and listening this way that I think we have to figure out another way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think there's just too much on social media. Like, it's hard to get noticed on social media now unless you pay, which is silly in itself. That's why they were thinking of bringing back MySpace without an algorithm, because the founders of MySpace want to bring it back because as a social media platform without an algorithm, that is actually a very good selling point right now because people are fed up with the algorithm. We want to be in control.
Right.
Well, and talking about, how it's affecting the kids, put the kids on MySpace if they want to socialize, right?
Yeah.
It's all gone.
I never thought I would say bring back MySpace. That's just...
Whoever thought it would come back, right? Like,
I was on there. I mean, I started on mp3.com, and then that went down, and then MySpace came up, and then Bandcamp came up, and Facebook. and it's just taken from there. But I wouldn't say we're in a happier place than what we were then. I think we may have more reach, but I wouldn't say we're happier.
No.
I mean, I've spent a lot in, pushing those ads, and because that's how I've gotten as far as I have, to be honest with you, is running those, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Instagram ads. And I try to do it, low level, so I'm not paying a fortune on it. But, and Barry, like when you're trying to push those ads, I have gotten some good net return, on those ads. But at the same time, I wouldn't have been able to reach 75,000 people any other way. I didn't have enough friends, to do that. So that has helped me. And the same thing with, going into the Spotify, campaigns. When you release a song, they offer, for you to run a campaign. I do that. I'm running legitimate Spotify campaigns in the Spotify platform for my music. And I've been able to build a fan base that way as well. Otherwise, how would I reach those playlist listeners? I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not big enough, and I don't have a major label behind me.
Yeah. And that's what you need. And I think that the problem is that people have, I just think that we are so spoilt as a nation now that we all believe that music is free, but as musicians, we know otherwise. That if something's really worth something, you should pay for that, really.
Something.
But again, thanks to Spotify, this is what's changed, is that people aren't prepared to pay for music much anymore because of that. It's free.
Yeah.
And that's why my latest album of JJ Felix is only currently on his website. I might push it out to iTunes in the future, but it's not going to go on streaming apart from maybe one single. Because I've reached the point that I've got like 3 albums on streaming platforms, and it's like that should be enough, really, unless people want something exclusive, that may go away in the future. And I'll be honest, I think it's his best album.
Good.
But I've only had one sale so far, and that was even before I marketed it. So it's very difficult for independent artists. It really is tricky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Dave and I were talking this morning about creating vinyl and CDs and, pushing that out. And I need it for an upcoming concert that I'm going to have. And I'm supposedly going to have some shows coming in Vegas, hopefully this year. And so I'm going to need that merchandise. I'm going to be at the Christmas Cowboy in Vegas. So I'm going to need those things. And they're a tangible item, for people to buy. And we're looking to, put a whole Sassitude tour together once the album is out. And so I'll need that kind of merchandise. Maybe there's a chance I will, be able to sell merchandise, and I'm going to be performing. I mean, because I can't make the money in streaming, I'm getting on stage. And to tell you the truth, I didn't think when I first started creating this music and I was going through all of that heart surgery and recovery, I had no idea I would step on stage again, especially after the vocal cord damage that was done. It wasn't until just accidentally in a meet and greet for my TV show Strike a Chord that I stepped on the stage just to do some basically showing I was on stage for some of the TV film, and my song came on and I just started singing, and I did not know the mic was live. And the mic was live. And everybody stopped when they heard me start singing. And I could just see the looks on their face like, oh my, you can sing. And I never said I couldn't sing. I said I can't sing as if I would have prior to the surgery. And my vocal cords give out. I had a hard time in my last, concert as a result of it. And people don't know that, right? So I never said I couldn't sing, and I never said I wouldn't sing. I just didn't think that I would. It wasn't until that mic was live and I was standing there on that stage, and I was it was my song, and I just immediately just started it, just like anytime I hear them. And it just so happened that mic was live, and it was full of people.
Right.
And everybody just stopped. And that was that pivotal moment. That was that evolution moment where I knew I could get back on stage with some help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, back to we can't make money in streaming, so you got to find.
We've griped an awful lot, haven't we?
Yeah. And so I think, you're right, Barry. Like, what is that? Is it even best to put our music back on Spotify? If they're going to label us and mute us at some point, I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. And if Spotify, you're listening, please don't do that. But if that, no ideas that we want to give you. But I think those potentials are there. Maybe we don't even go back to Spotify. Maybe we move on to other platforms.
There'll be an alternative.
Fans are prepared to pay for exclusive items, and I think that's the difference, isn't it? Especially on tour as well. It got me because I watched Mary Spender on YouTube, and she did a tour last year. She's very acoustic. She's not AI. She does everything herself, and she was basically explaining that it's just really difficult to do live, and she's got to nail it properly this time. So she's asking her fans on her YouTube channel, what do you want to see? And because we want it to be an experience. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, give out an album that's exclusive that nobody else can get, that's only available at that tour. That would do very well. And so I do think there is a lot to say about exclusivity. But and as Dave alluded to as well, subscriptions can be a thing. Patreon can be a thing. I've got it for Cyber Monday, but I haven't yet done it for JJ yet. But I'm looking at all things, and
I was going to maybe my next album is not going to go into streaming. It may only be an exclusive subscription that you heard it here first on my website. You have to subscribe to my website or and hear my music. Maybe do little teasers and say, if you want to hear the whole song, come over here, click on the link, and then you got to pay 99 cents, $1 a month or something. I mean, something. I don't know. Got to come up with some kind of idea.
Yeah, and this is what we had with iTunes back in the day, right? It was 99 cents a track, and that was fair.
Yep. Yeah.
And Spotify came in and just ruined everything.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a lot that's going on in the music world right now, and I don't think that we've heard the last of it. I don't know if the shock and awe is worn off about what's happening, and I don't see as many podcasts, the emergency podcasts coming out about it. So I think things have settled until the next big announcement comes. But I do feel like there's some unfairness going on towards those that have been doing and acting responsibly with AI music, and I feel like it's unjust punishment for those who have been misbehaving with it.
No, I completely agree. Sorry, go on.
When one door closes, another one opens. Don't worry about it.
Well, this is the thing. It is going to cleanse the space. That is definitely a positive. Hopefully those people who are in it just for the money will now be deterred, and they'll be like, well, there's no point now. And if the algorithm doesn't hit it, and I get why Spotify did that to an extent, because they wanted to try and stop that, but they didn't realize that that's also going to affect us directly as well. And that's why it's not really fair. But I'm hoping that this will cleanse the space. There'll be a lot less AI artists and more genuine AI artists coming forward who will have to work twice as hard as everybody else, maybe 10 times, maybe 100 times harder. But the true survivors will be the ones that don't give up.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And I will tell you here, Ava Bentley is here to stay. I work 7 days a week. I feel like it's 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And I know Dave does too, because I'm always talking to him. I don't even know what day's Monday or Sunday. Honestly, they all just blend together for me because
I can attest to that, Barry.
And I don't even mean it that way. It's just that I know that I can't stop for 1 second. Because I felt like that tsunami was coming behind us. I do think this is going to stop some of that tsunami, and then those who are here to stay will be the ones left standing. And I do think it's possible that as an AI music artist, in my case, a hybrid music artist, that it's possible to succeed, in this space. And I plan on stepping on stages, bigger and bigger and bigger stages. I'm not giving up. I'm not turning back. I'm frustrated, but I will find a way to continue to go. So every time they give me another wall, I'm just going to find another, door to walk through. I've been doing it for a lot of my life, and probably more so in the last, year. And I am not going to let this sideline me. I absolutely refuse. I'm living my dream, and they're not going to stop it.
Yeah, exactly. And I know I've got something going on with JJ. I just know it works.
Yeah, but we don't want to hear about that, Barry. Come on.
What was that, Dave? Sorry.
We don't want to hear about that, Barry, all right?
No, we do. In fact, this is a good segue. You're talking about your new album. If you'd like us to play one of your new songs, one of your new tracks, we can, insert that, into this podcast, and let's let people hear,
Awesome.
one of your songs. If you've got a video with it, or just, the song you want us to play the song, we can do that.
Great, yeah, and you can access it at jjfelix.com. Thanks.
All over me. All over me. Kink, I know what you're into. I've been watching close. I'll give you what you're craving, but I'll be the one who knows. You think you run the show here, honey, think again. I'm in charge. I'll use your weakness just to see you bend. But don't you dare turn it on me. That's not how this goes. I'll tell you what I want, and only what I choose. I'll punish you with your king, but don't do that to me. Don't even think about it. I don't like it. I like this instead. All over me. All over me. All over me. All over me. Oh yes. All over me.
All right. Awesome.
Yep. So, so Barry, just a couple other things. So what other things do you have working with JJ or with Cyber Monday? What do you got? What do you have going on? Let's talk about some positive stuff that's happening.
Quickly.
Yeah,
now,
so
all right?
I've got an AI cover, Slave to the Rhythm, coming out as Cyber Monday in a few weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that because it's a very different take off the original. So I'm really excited, and the reason for that is because I typically do non-AI under the cover albums. So this will be my 5th album that's actually covers. And I'm looking forward to that. And a few tracks have AI influenced in them, but I've still worked with everything as you know I do.
Okay.
So there's that. I had a video from Toya Wilcox recently, UK punk artist from the 80s, who basically said, "Be you." She was amazed by JJ Felix. She checked him out. She checked out Cyber Monday. She said, "You're an inspirational artist, and be original." And it got me thinking, you can still be original in using AI, right? And I think, again, that's a distinction with it. With JJ specifically, after this current album that's exclusive, which is very grunge, very Nirvana style, I'm going to take a step back and work out what's next. I've even thought about being myself and releasing a video of me saying I am the creator of JJ. It may come to that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But for the first time, I thought about it today. And I thought, it's not a risky strategy, but it's going to be a big change. Fans know that he's not real. They don't care that he's AI. They just love him. They love his image and they love his music. And that's why I want to continue with JJ. I think the live stuff is going to be hard. Me and Ava have been talking about how to work that out. And I think at the moment it will be Cyber Monday performing with JJ as a guest, who would come in every so often to participate in songs. So, and that way it keeps him alive still. And then maybe in the future, if we get the technology together, that we can have a robot or a hologram or something like that on stage, and that could work as well. So I'm still excited about JJ, but I am a bit on a downer because of the announcements of Spotify and Suno and everything and the charts. And it's like we are now battling against everything to survive, and that's what we'll just have to do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us, and appreciate you coming on the show and
Thanks for having me on the show.
talking through, some of these things. I do think we've got some challenges ahead of us, but I think we stick together and we're collaborating and working together. I feel like, you two people on this, this podcast with me are a team. When I'm
dream
always
team.
collaborating, with the dream team, always collaborating with you guys, and we're here to stay. We just got to get through these challenges and what other things come our way. But thank you for coming on the show today. Dave, thank you for, helping keep all of this running. And and we'll do this again. I'm sure we're going to have more to talk about in the near future. So thank you for being a part of it. And everybody, thank you for joining us on Put a Mic on It.